When you think of the word creativity, there is a letter that naturally stands out. P. Since P is the most creative letter, I'll use it to concisely illustrate the entire creative process in something experts call the 3 Ps of creativity. Consider these your first steps towards creativity nirvana. The first P is product. As a creative person, you want a product. You want that created thing that you set out to create in the first place. So, in a sense, it's not really the first P, but kind of more like the last P. Or at least the most important P that more or less shows up more toward the end. So, in that regard, it's more like the pseudo-anti-actual first P that arrives when you are mostly done, but it's still super important. So to begin, the real first P is problem. You need a problem. The French consistently mispronounce the word problem by saying challenge, which translated into American is challenge. I made most of that up, but it sounds very educated, and it does put a little bit more of a positive spin on the word problem, which has traditionally suffered from pretty bad PR. It's actually hard to describe the word problem without actually saying the word problem. Know what I mean? But you need a product. Remember that was our anti-actual first P? It could be a song, a work of art, a computer program, a pottery mug, or whatever. Well, probably not a song because those aren't creative. Hemoglobin. But you get the picture. But you don't have a product yet, and that's a problem. So you need to do some problem solving. Problem solving is huge in the creative process, and that's why I'm calling it the second P. But since problem and problem solving both have the word problem in them, I'm bundling them together. So actually, the next P is pumped. You need to go in with a killer attitude. So you want to get pumped. Pumped! You need to get pumped to problem solve the problems towards the product to be produced. Comprende? Perfecto. Nothing helps a person get more pumped to problem solve a problem towards a product than play. Play is also big. It's giant. As a matter of fact, if I ever had to take a big giant P, I would take play. It's that important. You want to play with a problem. You want to look at it from all angles, turn it on its head, look at it backwards, pretend it's something else, make it do a dance, send it sailing. This is the P that involves brainstorming ideas and looking for the other right answer. Creativity experts call this practicing soft thinking. And the softer, the better. Play. Once you've had time to play, take a little bit of time to let your ideas percolate. Take a breather. Kick a ball. Watch a cloud. Sleep on it. Sleep on the idea, not the cloud. Unless you can do that. And if you can, then let me know, because our brain actually concentrates best when it's relaxed. So let those ideas percolate other new little ideas. Percolation is another very important P. Which leads us to process, which is really the procedure of transforming your ideas, perspectives, and principles into your product. Process and procedure are two awesome Ps, but they mean virtually the same thing, so we'll morph them into a single P. There is one small footnote here, though. Even though process and procedure are near definition doppelgangers of each other, it sounds way more pretentious and snooty for a creative person to ask another creative person, "What was your process?" than to say, hey, what was your procedure? Or better yet, hey, can you walk me through what you did? Use that knowledge wisely. And
Pete.
Only for good.
Pete,
What?
you got too many P's.
What are you talking about?
This video is about the 3 P's of creativity. You've already got like 8 or 9 P's.
Is that a problem?
Well, how many more do you have?
I don't know, maybe 8 or 9.
So this is like the 17, 18, 19 P's?
Okay. I got this.
You sure?
Yep.
Sweet.
Sweet. It's okay. Creative procedure has a subset of 3 B's. They are persistence, practice, and progress. Be persistent. Creativity is all about persevering even when you feel like throwing in the towel. To this end, your creation may demand that you practice something new. Developing a new skill set is annoying, but it's awesome when your efforts really start clicking. Then, just like in science, you'll want to chart your progress. Well, at last you've got your product, which I can actually call product since I already named it as a pseudo-anti-actual first P earlier in the video. You've made something. It's your creation. Congratulations. Now it's time to analyze and ponder what you've done. What worked? What didn't? If you had to do it all over again, what would you change? This is all called the post-product ponderance, but boring people call it process analysis. That's the creative process, and it could end right there, but suppose you want to refine your product. Well, then it's a simple matter of repeating steps like problem solving, playing, practicing, and progressing in order to polish and improve your product toward perfection. All important P's that I can actually pronounce because it's all post-process procedure. So there you have it, having a problem that's worth getting pumped to problem solve through play and percolation, proceeding through the process with persistence, practice, and a perception of progress towards a product that causes you to ponder in post. The 3 P's of creativity. Or you could just say problem solving, procedure, and product. And be perplexed while you ponder the plethora of perks of subscribing to this channel. Do it. You'll be pleased.